A warm welcome to Diski Talk with Liolo. If you're tuning in for the very first time, I do ask that you please subscribe and hit that notification bell. If you've been a part of this journey, I hope you thoroughly enjoy this episode. So, on today's episode, I discuss all things Orlando Pirates as they've released Thulani Hlatshwayo and confirmed the signings of Thapelo Xoki from AmaZulu and Nkosinathi Sibisi from Golden Arrow. So when you have a look at it then, we will start with Thulani Hlatshwayo. So when you have a look at Thulani Hlatshwayo, this was a player then who was signed by Orlando Pirates after the Bidvest sale. And this was a player then who came with a lot of expectation, especially considering then that at that time, he was Bafana captain, and he was a player then that had won trophies and had success at Bidvest. But when you do then have a look at Thulani Hlatshwayo's period with Orlando Pirates, I would say then that towards the end then it was very underwhelming, especially considering then that he couldn't nail down a regular starting spot, and he just had very poor performances at times, and he struggled then to become that leader and become then that center back that Orlando Pirates had needed over the years. And when you do have a look at it then, it is very interesting to see where he will go, because, you know, there are certain clubs that could do with the services of Thulani Hlatshwayo. So it remains to be seen then with regards to where's his next move. And I probably will then cover it when he does get signed, because this is then the transfer window. So this is transfer talk. However, let's move on then right along, and let's have a look at the two new signings that Orlando Pirates have signed. So with Thapelo Xoki then, is also a centre-back. This is a player then who has been playing for AmaZulu over the past couple of seasons, and he's done very well at AmaZulu because he was then a mainstay within that back line. He was also then a key player for AmaZulu. So when you do look at Thapelo Xoki, this is a very strong defender. Aerially, he's very good, and a player then who's also very comfortable on the ball with regards to building up from the back, and he reads the game very well. And he's also a leader as well, which then is very key, especially then when you consider that Thulani Hlatshwayo has been released, and when you also have a look at the fact that Happy Jele is coming to the end of his career. So Orlando Pirates then are in need then of a leader at the back. And when you also consider that Olisanda has been doing very well, it's just that at times one would feel that Olisanda just needs a strong partner. So I think Thapelo Xoki could be that for Olisanda and for Orlando Pirates. And when you have a look at it then, with regards to the next player, you do have Nkosinathi Sibisi. So this is a player then who has been captaining Golden Arrows, which then is also another positive, because Orlando Pirates then have signed two defenders which were captains at their team. So you are then bringing two defenders then who are leaders. So that can only bode well for the defense for Orlando Pirates. And when you do have a look at Nkosinathi Sibisi, this is then a player who has been doing well at Golden Arrows, and he's developed over the years. He's very strong and not the tallest and not the most physical centre-back, but he does read the game well, and he is then a player who's always looking to combat and also comfortable on the ball with regards to looking to play out from the back. However, when you have a look at it then, what's very interesting about Orlando Pirates is that at times they have played three at the back, so they would play a 3-4-2-1. So let's have a look at it then from a back three perspective. So when you have a look at it then from a back three perspective, you would have Olisanda, who plays as the right side at centre back. You would have Happy Jele, and then you'd normally have Innocent Mayela, or you'd have Pasega Marco. So when you have a look at it then, and you look at Thapelo Xoki and you look at Nkosinathi Sibisi, how would they fit in? So if they did play a back three, I then think that you could potentially see all three of them playing, or you could see two of them playing, and then they would continue then with having a left back as the left-sided centre-back who just invert whenever then it would be build-up phase, and whenever then they would require the left-back looking then to invert. So when you have a look at it then, let's have a look at it then from two perspectives. So we'll have a look at it, all three of them playing within a back three, and then we'll have a look at two of them. So when you have a look at it then, if this were to be the back three, I think then as the left-sided centre-back, you could potentially You could have Nkosinathi Sibisi playing as the left-sided centre-back because he did play at Golden Arrows as a left-sided centre-back. Then I would think you would have Thapelo Xoki playing in between the two, and then you would have Olisanda as the right-sided centre-back. So that is one way that they could approach it. Yes, of course, they could always switch the three of them because all three of them are actually right-footed. So none of them are left-footed. So that is why then I think there is a much more greater possibility with them playing only two of them and then playing a left back, either being Innocent Mayela or Paseka Mago. So if two of them were to play, then I think then you're looking at Olisanda and you're looking at Thapelo Xoki, who would play in the middle, and then you would have Paseka Mago or you would have Innocent Mayela. However, when you do also look at it then, I think this is also a good signing from a long-term perspective, especially considering how well Olisanda has done. So if Olisanda then were to leave Orlando Pirates already have two strong centre-backs who are both leaders, and centre-backs then who have to a certain degree experience of the DStv Premiership and have been plying their trade and have been consistent over the past couple of years, ready to slot in. So if Olisanda were to leave, what you would see then is you'd most likely see Usibisi playing as a right-sided centre-back. You'd have Thapelo Xoki there, and then you'd have Innocent Mayela, or you'd have Paseka Marco. So, ladies and gentlemen, do let me know, what do you make of these signings from an Orlando Pirates perspective, and what do you make of them releasing Thulani Hlatshwayo, and what do you make of his stay at Orlando Pirates? So, he did manage to win the MTN 8. That was the one trophy he won. But throughout his time, he had very underwhelming performances, and he was quite inconsistent as well. And I just don't think that when you have a look at it then from a systematic approach, I think he really struggled to fit into the system, and he just didn't fit at Orlando Pirates. But when you do look at the incoming signings, you do have Thapelo Xoki coming from Amazulu, and then you have Nkosinathi Sibisi coming from Golden Arrows. What do you make of those two signings, and where does this put Orlando Pirates going into the next season? Because when you now start to have a look at that defense, they look very, very solid. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you did enjoy this one, please do subscribe, hit the notification bell, like, comment, and give me a super thanks as well. Thank you very much for tuning in to yet another special episode of Diski Talk with Luyolo. Signing out.